Hello, guys. This is Lori Lothian of Lunatic Astrology, and we're going to talk about the worldly success, opportunity, expansion, and passion, and even crafting something new in your life that can happen with the new moon in Gemini coming up on May the 30th. This is one of the best new moons I've seen in a long time. I'm so relieved and so excited to talk about it with you today. There is a caveat. There's a little bit of a chance of somebody partnering with you to be your nemesis or cause you challenges. So we'll talk about that as well. But for the most part, I want you to think about this as a moon that brings a sense of expanding worldly opportunity to each of us in our lives, depending on what area it falls in our chart, and a sense of divine protection and a really good vibe. So we're going to talk about that because this moon is connected to the royal Persian fixed star, great power, Aldebaran. It is connected to Eros, the asteroid for passion and life force energy. It's connected to Hephaistos, the asteroid for what you want to craft that's magical in your own life, what you want to create like a craftsperson of your reality. And it's going to be a pretty sweet spot for all of us. We all need that because the world has like gone to hell in a handbasket. And the climate change thing right here in Vancouver, I'm recording this on May the 18th, and we still haven't had a warm day yet. I mean, it's not even like we have discovered where summer might lie. All right. So let's get started. And the first thing I want to talk about is, before we go ahead, I'm a whole sign Hellenistic astrologer. I am using the tropical zodiac, not sidereal. I suggest you cast your chart in whole sign houses because it's going to actually be more, you'll connect to what I'm saying that way. It is the oldest house system. It is the ancient house system. There's a tutorial for free. You can sign in and get it down below in my description box, and 5-minute video showing you how to do that on free software. Secondly, housekeeping. I am putting together, and it's launching on May the 29th, Sky Reader, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life. It is my 6-week immersion live Zoom class with replays, with PDF documents, with evergreen access to the content on my teaching platform for new or intermediately beginning type astrology curious people. Do you want to read your own chart? Do you want to be able to look at some timing markers coming up for yourself without always having to listen to me on YouTube, which is just general for your sign? It's not intimate to who you are. If you're interested in that kind of learning, check it out below. And if you sign up by going to my newsletter subscription first, sign up for Cosmic Moonshine, you're going to get a 33% discount code, taking the enrollment price down from $298 early bird price only to $198. So that's an incredible discount. Less than $200 for a 6-week deep dive immersion. Lots of fun. Facebook group, learning with other students, learning with me. I'm capping the course at 33 students because I want to pay attention to you guys. I want to be able to make sure I can support you individually and collectively. There are group coaching calls on Wednesday nights. Okay, boom, that's that. Let's get down to business. Oh yeah, if you sign up for my newsletter, even if you don't want to take the course, you get access to my 222 all signs videos, 60 minutes times 12, and they're normally $48 if you're not a member of my newsletter, weekly forecast, and you can get a 30% discount code for a reading with me, one-time use. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, let's get rolling here, guys. I want to talk about this. I love this moon. All right, now let's talk about some basic ideas about it before I show you the sky, and then we'll go into some signs, all signs, right? So first of all, this is happening, this moon in Gemini, all right? It's happening under the context, right, of the Lord of the Gemini space, the planetary body that rules it, being retrograde. So you have to think about what that might mean. It certainly means delays in promise. And the second thing you have to understand is that all new moons are seed plantings for something that will come to harvest or will fruit or come to fullness 6 months later. In this case, the full moon in Gemini on December the 8th. So while you may want everything to show up on your doorstep lickety split, it's not most likely to happen. This moon is at 9 degrees of Gemini, and 9 degrees of Gemini is really, really close to the fixed star Aldebaran. If your planets in your natal chart at 9 degrees Gemini, like I have some delineations there, I have an asteroid there named Ceres, and I have my IC there, then this is going to be a really big deal for you. So Aldebaran is a royal Persian star, one of the top stars in the sky for power. There are 4 of them, and they're all connected in the medieval astrology to archangels. And this is Archangel Michael. So think about Michael as the warrior angel, but he's also on the right hand of God, and he's got like a lot of fire in him and stuff like that. There's a bit of a warrior vibe to this star. All of the royal stars bring success in some way. So, there's always this sense of, the royal stars, which are Antares, Aldebaran, oh my God, my brain, Regulus and Fomalhaut. Those 4 stars, probably, I think they were navigational stars, and they're very, very bright magnitude, have a downside and an upside. So let me tell you a little bit about Aldebaran. It's about worldly success. End of story. What in your life do you want to have what we would call a worldly success outcome in? And second of all, it's also about communications. The star is often prominent in the charts of writers and authors and screenplay writers, or people whose livelihood involves the art of communication. And then lastly, this is really all-purpose goodness, but I'm going to give you a little rundown from one of my favorite books, The Fixed Stars by Oscar Hoffman. It's such a great little book. I have about 4 of these, and this is one of my faves. And he says this: intelligence, honor. This is Aldebaran. This is what new seeds are being planted in a powerful new moon at 9 degrees Gemini, right on May 30th. So let's keep going with this. Intelligence, honor, eloquence, steadfastness, integrity, popularity, courage, ferocity, responsible position, honors, public honors, gain of power and wealth through others. And its benefits are seldom lasting. Danger of violence. Okay, so I don't think any of you guys listening here are about to go ahead and machete somebody, so let's not worry about that. When it's with the sun or the moon and you were born with it there, but you can apply this to a new moon because the sun and the moon are together in the sky, creating the dark moon or new moon. He talks about it as being honor and preferment, good fortune, favors from women, well, whatever. But you get the vibe that it's just a new start, a new seed under the light of a very powerful star. Now, with the moon and with the sun, there is Eros, and it's about 3 degrees away, the asteroid that is representative of where we have passion and ardor and enthusiasm and excitement and life force and vitality about something we're doing. Eros is life force energy. It's the opposite of death energy, Thanatos. But it's also the son of Venus, right? So he's the guy who went around shooting arrows at people so they would fall in love with each other. For some of you, there could be a falling in love here. Okay, we're going to talk about that in your chart when we get to the all signs. There's also Hephaistos, which was the husband of Venus. So it's funny that the son of Venus and the husband of Venus are hanging out with this new moon. It's like a whole Venus story, right? And he was actually the kind of dude where he was kind of ugly and, not very good looking, but he was a master craftsman and he could create magical things like the magic girdle of his wife, for his wife Venus. To this day, no one knows what the magic girdle was exactly. And the thunderbolts of Zeus. But so he's crafting things. He's like, what do you call it? Like a blacksmith, welder, forgesmith kind of thing. But the symbolism is, what would you want to craft in your own life? As if you were a craftsman of your reality with ardor and passion and the potential for great worldly success, thanks to the presence of Aldebaran. All right, now when it comes to the aspects, let me show you the picture of the sky so you can see it and you'll get the gist, because there are some support structures here. And we'll talk about what the retrograde might mean as well. Don't forget, we will do the all signs. And if you're not into sticking around for this, and that's okay, jump ahead, but you'll learn a lot by just listening to the intro. So here's that beginning of this, Aldebaran new moon planting seed. And that's the sun and the moon, obviously. I can't draw the asteroids in, but trust me, they're right there. And then you see that Mercury is retrograding next door in Taurus. So it's kind of an interesting condition. Mercury can't really connect. It's called an inversion to the moon that's birthing in his house, this new beginning. So it's kind of like he's a little off duty, a little hands off, right? Not for long, but for a while, because he's retrograding in Taurus right now during the moon. And you can see that Jupiter and Mars, what a dynamic combination in Aries. This is commander in chief. This is like expanding one's ambition. This is going for it. This is directionality. These are powerful decisions you're making, every one of us in that part of our sky. And this is going to be in a flowing, harmonious energy called a sextile to this particular new beginning. Now, sextiles, they're like, it's like where you want to find flow and ease, but you have to take action. Like a sextile won't knock on your door and bust it down with an opportunity. That's more like a trine, if anything. Sextiles are 60 degrees away. I had somebody comment on my channel, what are you using all this tech language for, like sextile? And I'm like, it's called astrology, but let me explain it to you. It's 60 degrees away from each other. All right. So 2 signs is 60 degrees. So this is a sextile, and it brings things that are the nature of Venus. So opportunity, luck, pleasure, joy, maybe some relationships. It's kind of a good, sweet, a benefic energy. And you have to remember that also there was action. See, the moon moves really quickly, and the moon was back here with this Jupiter-Mars combination on May the 25th. And so maybe go back and look at your life, contextually. What was the moon? What goods and news was the moon getting from the Jupiter and Mars connection back around May 25th that will plant new seeds with the idea of Mars and Neptune supporting. Jupiter is a benefic, Mars is a malefic, but Jupiter is bonifying him, so he can't cause harm. So bottom line is Jupiter is bringing it on with some lucky opportunities, but you have to take the action. Finally, there's this gnarly square to Juno, and it's going to increase about shortly after the moon, right? Like if I move this moon forward a bit, and you'll see what I mean, just watch the moon moving forward, right? Moon moves quickly, remember that. So the whole sky is going to move. So I know it's going to make you dizzy, but hang in there. So you can see that the moon will get to that 12th degree still on May 30th, right? But later in the day. And that means that there's this like gritty tension with the goddess of collaboration and partnerships, including marriage partnerships and commitments we've made. Sometimes they're commitments that we've been like holding on to, and we know we're done, but we don't know how to let it go. She was the wife of Jupiter, and she hung in there through his philandering. It can be about persistence and commitment, but she's equally able to cut the ties. I've seen her act like the goddess of divorce as much as the goddess of marriage. So here we see something like looks like it wants to maybe break free or coming to a clash or a head with either the one you're with or somebody you're partnering with or collaborating with in your life. So pay attention to that tension in the sky that day. It may feel like it's a relief actually, because maybe you're getting ready to let go of whatever that gnarly, uncomfortable partnership thing is. Okay. But just know that there's that story, and whatever you break free of or clash with in terms of business and love partners, it's going to be a part of that fruiting and that fullness, December the 8th, 2022, when this, like the tree blossoms from this new beginning and the fruit is falling from what is happening here. So we're going to do the all signs. And I want to remind you, one more thing I'd like to say. The Cazimi of Mercury in the heart of the sun happens on May 21st. And May 21st is kind of tied to this because when Mercury is joining with the sun in the sky, he is the lord of the new moon. So he's actually getting divine downloads and instructions. When he's retrograde, by the way, he's very magical. And if you don't know his retrogradation cycle, right, it's when he's really close to Earth, and your synchronicity is going to really increase. Your dreams at night can increase. Like, for instance, he started going retrograde around May the 10th, and it was at 4 degrees of Gemini. Then on May 23rd, he backs into Taurus, where he's going to be in Venus's sign. And then on June the 3rd, he comes out of his retrograde stations direct from Taurus. Okay. He'll be around 26 degrees of Taurus. And then he will, by June 18th, be out of his shadow. He'll be back in Gemini, out of his shadow, etc. So that's excellent. He'll be leaving shadow, meaning kind of like the lingering hangover of the retrograde. He'll be leaving that at around the 4th degree of Gemini. So keep all of this in mind too for this new moon, because it is Gemini, it is Mercury ruled. And I would say it's not likely to see the full fruit and power of what's trying to be seeded in your worldly success story with lucky opportunities from Jupiter and action from Mars. You won't really necessarily get the full brunt of it or the understanding of it until at least, I think, after May 18th, when Mercury is out of shadow. And by the way, the other thing I would say to you is when Mercury goes into the heart of the sun and comes out the other side, what he's doing is he's rebirthing himself from either a morning star Mercury, where you see him in the morning sky, or an evening star Mercury, where you see him in the evening. He will be coming into his morning star iteration. And I'm born with a Mercury morning star, right? So I'm like, yeah, that's really good for us Mercury morning star folk, because we know the vibe really well. He's more masculine, he's more go-getter, he's more on it, he's more ambitious, he's less like laid back. So really good for a lot of us who are mercurial, who do things like writing or communicating or speaking or educating people and all of that. So yay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the all signs. I'm going to come back to you guys, and I'm going to start with Aries. Now, before I do, I need a sip of my green water. My green water is chlorophyll. Oh my God, I just love this stuff. If you haven't put chlorophyll in water, guys, it's like you're drinking something like you plucked from the garden. I just spit. It's so delicious. Like, I'm so into it. All righty. I had a couple of weird trolls last time. They said like this mic kept flashing in and out. It does if I don't position it right with a fake backdrop. So I fixed that today, and people like telling me that I'm repetitive. This guy told me I was repetitive because I kept saying dreams at night. That's the Neptune thing, or that's me talking about the 12th house. And I was like, dude, the marriage house will always have the word marriage in it, and then dreams at night house will always have the word dreams at night in it. So anyway, just had to complain because I was in the mood to. All right, so we're going to start off with the Aries people first and move around the sky, talking about each of you in zodiacal order. And one of the things I want to say, your rising sign will always be most circumstantially accurate. It kind of represents the faded part of your life where, it's most intimate to you. It represents where the Eastern horizon was, the horizon line was, okay, when you were born. And it also is often like these kind of destined circumstances that are here because we coded for them. Whereas you can look at your moon as your emotional set point. You can look at your sun as where you have more discriminating intelligence, more agency, more choice. And maybe about career and purpose. If you're born at night, your moon might really resonate. If you're born in the day, your sun might. Those are called your sextiles. In Indian astrology from India, they always suggest you listen to your moon sign because, it will talk about how you're feeling about the events of your life and how you're positioned emotionally around them. All right, so let's get going. So Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign, you're going to experience this particularly powerful Aldebaran worldly success, Eros Hephaistos, new beginning, right smack dab in your third house of trips and travel, of study and learning and teaching, of siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, of scryers, oracles, and diviners. Okay, all of these kinds of vibes, very busy house of the goddess. And so in your own life, you might find that these themes, which I will have to repeat every time I do it, the third house story, can be seeding something powerful and new that can bring you worldly success. So I'm an Aries sun and moon. And for me, my third house is a house of skills-based teaching. And I'm teaching my Sky Reader course, which I talked about early on. This bodes really well. I have another class I'm going to be teaching as well this summer, a whole different thing. So for me, 6 months ahead, things to do with instruction, teaching, trips, and travel, these can be very auspicious, or my relationship with my siblings or extended family. So don't forget, by the way, Aries, if you want to join my Sky Reader course, check the description box below. Honestly, it's such a fun class, I hope anyway, capping it at 33 participants. I'm at about 11, I think, because you're really going to enjoy yourself learning basic astrology with me, but in a fun and easy way. I've really tried to make it easy. So fun and easy, and how to actually read your chart and predict your own future using four amazingly simple predictive tools. All right, so moving on then, I'd say for you guys that you really can find Jupiter and Mars in the house of your body, in the house of your sense of self, in the house of you. You're going to feel directive, magnanimous, strong, powerful energy in your beingness as this is ongoing. Mars will be in your first house until, check out my Mars throughout Aries video, I think it's out. He'll be there until the first week of July. So you're very focused, you're getting physically active again, maybe you're directive, you're on your game, you're pointing in the right direction, you know what you want, you're going to get it. It's a super go-getter energy here. And Jupiter is really making you feel generous, magnanimous, and leaderful as well. So you just have a lot of goodness in the house of you. And that goodness in the house of you is supporting this new beginning. So like you're kind of really on it. And the other thing is that it's kind of Captain Picard in the Starship Enterprise, series, because it's kind of like you can make it so. All right, like just keep that in mind. You have this kind of real make it so power that you can really amplify your success with the power of your will, because Mars represents will and Jupiter's expanding your will. So you're very focus driven and willful and in a good way, and Mercury sitting in your second house, Mercury's a marketing, merchandising, mercantile guy, and he can bring money when he's in the second house. He is retrograding. You might go back over some old ground, and you might be looking for new ways to make some money while he's retrograding in Taurus. But don't forget, he will station direct and begin to move back towards that Gemini placement. In fact, I'm going to look at the date for all signs because I didn't do that. I want to see, when does he actually get back? I'm hearing a song. Okay. Hang on. Only for you guys do I actually do on the fly. When does he go exactly back into the Gemini corridor? I should have checked that out because it's going to be when you feel some kind of new momentum here really kicking in as well. Yeah. Okay. So, he's back in there around June 14th. Okay. And by the 18th, he's out of the shadow. Alrighty. So back to you guys. I wanted to say that with Mercury here, you might go back over some old projects, some old ideas that you have been incubating or whatever, and maybe even left on the drawing board and didn't finish with, because you got stuck along the way. And you may be going back over them to redo them so that you can prosper. So I want you to think about this in terms of maybe picking up an old dormant idea for money making and restoring it. Now that makes sense for me, but I won't go into that. There's a course that I was going to teach in a certain way, and now I'm redoing it in a new way, and it'll be out in the summer, and I'm so excited about it. But for all of you, if it's not a project you have to go back and do, you could have some news around money and earnings, jobs and promotion, jobs and ways to earn money, or possessions to do with the past coming back to you, that you can harness, but maybe you won't fully harness it until around June 14th, when we get that Mercury popping again into the sign of Gemini. And by the, as I said earlier, the 18th, he's out of the shadow. And I think the shadow part can be a little bit of a drag. So you want to definitely not judge the story until you get out of shadow. Finally, watch out for some contentious or gnarly or difficult circumstances that could be connected to a business or relationship partnership. Now, Juno's funny because she's the one who stuck by her man, which is Zeus, and didn't give up on the relationship. So maybe it's not always about breaking out of some difficult love relationship or business partnership, but figuring out whether the perseverance has a payoff. And you may be asking yourself that question, and it may be right in your face during this retrograde, because Juno is in your 12th house, which is a very subtle place, but it can also be foreign shores and lands. This could be a relationship with a foreigner, a partnership or connection that's coming to your attention, or a past life connection. But you'll know that there's some tension with some kind of collaborative partnership for sure. And you'll be dealing with that in the time of this new moon, especially on the day of this new moon. All right. So wish you the best of luck in figuring out how to handle that bit of a gnarly condition. The last thing I want to finish with is this, the moon is in Gemini, and that's Mercury's sign. And so Mercury is going to also potentially be able to support you once he's especially back in Gemini with things that have to do with how you relate one-on-one. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant to say. I'm a little spacey. With how you are able to support your own better health protocols and routines, because he does own your 6th house, and he will be squaring that once he gets back into Gemini. And so there could be, over the month that follows, or the 2 weeks that follow the new moon, a real digging into understanding, learning, or studying, or researching, or something to do with better work routines for sure, but also health routines. So just keep that in mind. That could be a little side effect of this particular narrative. Let's keep going. I need to go grab a little refresher on my green water. It needs a little more green in it, and I'll be right back. So let's keep going, and we're going to talk next about the bulls in the sky, the Taurian earth people. So Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign people, you have this new beginning in your money and earnings and possessions house. It's called your 2nd house. And this is auspicious because worldly success and money go together. And fixed star Aldebaran is sitting right there going, big new refresh on your earnings for you Taurians. And love that Eros is there for passion and excitement. And I love that Hephaistos is saying, what do you wish to craft? in your earnings and wealth story. And so it is going to take, maybe until December 8th next year to fully fruit out into the thing that is beginning now. But certainly in the 2 weeks that follow any new moon, you're going to get signs about which direction this thing is going. So get ready, get set, go for that. You've got such support from Mars and Jupiter in your 12th house. Now, this is very subtle support. Honestly, guys, this can be like angels and spirit guides are backing you up, or this can be support from like figures that you respect that are guides and spiritual mentors of some kind. And lastly, it can be also just a sense of support in your earnings because you are killing it by getting rid of your own self-undoing, because Mars is eliminating, chopping and slicing out stuff of your 12th. It's often our addictions and our self-defeating, self-sabotaging ways of being in the world. And Jupiter is bonifying everything, going, yeah, let's just toss out that garbage and let's get you into more of a good money mindset maybe, or start earning more money, or just roll with it. Pay attention to May 21st with that Kazemi. I'll be doing a separate video because, Mercury in the heart of the sun in the house of your earnings could give you a huge revelation. That video is going to be interesting. You'll stay tuned for that. I think you'll enjoy it. And if you're really wanting to see some kind of financial breakthrough, which I think this is what it's showing me for you, you definitely can access some of that you from what you call your career. And that's just because, your 10th house is Aquarius, and in modern astrology often it says, well, Mercury exalts Aquarius. I've seen that actually work, that Mercury can really, really like champion the Aquarian sky when he's active in some way. So it could be a promotion or a raise or a brand new job or just some kind of direction in your professional life that really picks up your earnings. And also, Mercury is the Lord of your 5th house of romance, of enjoyment, pleasure, and play, of enthusiasm. And so in a way, I think you're going to be making money, but it's also going to be full of enthusiasm and joy and fun and excitement, not just dull and drudgery. Now, with Mercury, the Lord of this particular lunation in your 1st house, there is a sense that things that Mercury wishes you to arrive at, to prosper, will involve taking care of 1st house matters, perhaps like your health, your body, your ideas about who you are, the way you communicate with others. All right. So these are things that are going to be worked on. Mercury's retrograding in your 1st house. You may go back to an old health protocol, or you may remove a health protocol from your life that doesn't work. I know my daughter's going to do that. She got a health protocol in place. It doesn't seem to be working for her. She'll have it removed. So, and she's a Taurus sun. So you're going to have this, back vibe. Okay. Going back over something. Mercury wants you to take care of it so that you can indeed thrive and prosper later on. And also, don't forget, Mercury will be back in Gemini on the 14th or so of June, and then out of shadow by June 18th. And that's when you can really expect to see what this new prosperity story is. And, he is a morning star full of gumption and gung-ho energy, which is so exciting. Anything else I want to say about that for you? I would also maybe think that you could benefit in the sky from moving away from a friend that doesn't serve you. And it's because Juno, the goddess of partnerships, in the house of friendships, maybe there's one of those friends that you have or social groups that you belong to, and there's a friendship in it that you realize is just not really working for you. And you may find this out on the day of or the day after this new moon, that it's time maybe to break free, to call it quits. And if you're going to dig in and commit to this gnarly relationship, well, then you're going to have to do it with a good reason, right? You're going to have to know why you're going to persevere despite whatever this gritty tension is. And so this Juno in your 11th house is usually like, it's not your bestie, or it's not your beloved. It's just, but it is somebody in your social circles that you realize it's grit, it's tension. You may have to get rid of that person gently. Okay, now that's about it for you guys. It's pretty simple. I don't think I missed anything. I can't tell you how this is going to happen, this new earnings, but I'll go a little bit deeper into the 2nd house. It's a house of the voice and the speech, which comes down to the vocari, or the calling. So maybe it's not just a promotion or a better job. Maybe it's a new sense of renewal about passion and excitement, Hephaistos, to craft something with Eros, excitement, and worldly success, Aldebaran, in an area of your truer calling, not just a job, So maybe you have a day job that you don't like, but then you're going to apply for a job that you really want because it is really who you are. So don't forget, Taurus, if you'd like to sign up for my course, Sky Reader, be your own astrologer and time your best life. Check it out. Love to have you in there with me and 33 students. Doors will close soon. The class starts on the 29th. And I said earlier, check my newsletter out, because when you subscribe to my Cosmic Moonshine, you're going to get a 33% discount code off. And that reduces this course to a mere $198 for a 6-week live training with replays and evergreen access to the content afterward. Okay. I'm not going to forget to say this for everybody. I want to remind people. I always forget to promote my stuff. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. So Geminis, I'm standing, guys, because I need to get moving my body, and sitting to do these videos is really, really hard on my body. So where was I? Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. So this is all about your identity. This is about you. This is a new beginning in you. So you could have a dramatic, over the next 6 months, revolution in your sense of self. Physically, you may change how you look. You may change how you seem to others. You may change how you appear in the world, really. And your identity is getting a new start, a new, fresh, new beginning. But hey, worldly star, a success, and all of that power that comes with Aldebaran up here, and Archangel Michael in the house of you. Wow, this is a very luscious and rare event. I can't say that you've had new moons with Archangel Michael attending the big deal, right? And also, it's got a quality of, where you want to find this ardor, passion, and excitement within your very being, because Eros is here, and Hephaistos. How do you want to craft an identity, whether it's how you look or how what people think of you or what you are presenting as? How do you want to craft that identity? How do you want to make conscious choices to make yourself into what you wish to be, and what brings you worldly success and excitement by virtue of that transformation? And in December, on the 8th of this year, that's that full moon that begins to show the full fruit of this new beginning here. Also, you've got support from Jupiter in the 11th house of his joy. Yes, this is a house of his joy. He loves it there. And so it's a house of good spirit. Now he's up here like a fairy godfather, blessing this new beginning, this new start in identity. So, and the blessings come through Jupiter 11th house characters, teachers and guides in larger social groups, friends who are beneficent, magnanimous, and generous toward you. And Mars is like action. Mars is like, let's take action and get things going in the house of good spirit. House of good spirit can sometimes be 11th house, about your dreams and aspirations and wishes for your life. And so if you had a wishing well, and you could cast a coin into the well for what you really want to see in your beingness and in your life in general, this would be a good time to do that, because you just might get an answer. And Mercury is going not to be back into Gemini, where you can get the full import of this until, the 14th or so of the month of June, and out of shadow on the 18th. So that's when everything really kicks in. But where he sits now is your 12th house during the moon. And that's Mercury was the psychopomp, went to the land of the dead, talked to the spirits there. He will message things for Zeus, right? He's a messenger, but he's also the only one that could go to the underworld to talk to Pluto any old time. And he also is the one who used to be the dream messenger in the ancient tradition. So, and because the 12th house is the deep, deep, deep levels of our unconscious and our ultimately our soulful multiple layers, past lives, you could be definitely getting a dream message on this moon. So pay attention to the days around this new moon for powerful insights from your dreams, or maybe your meditations or trance journeys, if you do that kind of thing, or from people who facilitate that, like getting a hypnosis session or something and having your higher self download what you need to know. Okay, so watch for a gnarly, gritty tension with some Juno character, a friend or partner or a love partner in the 10th house, because it's Juno gritting out from the 10th, your career house and your reputation house. Couple of thoughts, your partner, business, or love gossips about you or destroys your reputation and you call it quits with them. Or somebody who you would partner with in your work or business life is not the right one, and you see this tension forming around the moon, and the couple of weeks that follow may propel you to cut some ties, okay, with that person, and realize if it doesn't, you don't do it in the 2 weeks that follow, you might do it in the 6 months that follow, but this is not your person. There's something about this union that's just too hard, and so you may make a decision to let that union go. Anything else I want to tell you? Definitely pay attention to the cazimi of Mercury in the heart of the sun on, I'll do a separate video on that on the 21st. See what downloads and insights you might be getting that could really reveal or open up your eyes to something exciting. We still have that energy of when the cazimi happens, it's at 0 degrees of Gemini. So it's still within Gemini's powerful place. So it's a very powerful cazimi. And there's a crossroads energy to that I'll be talking about in a separate video, but what kind of crossroads energies and decisions may come to you or features around the 21st before you get to this moon is worth checking that out. Or if you're listening to this after, in hindsight, yeah. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. The moon is occurring in your 12th house of, yes, dreams at night. To that asshole made a comment and didn't like that I keep saying dreams at night. Well, guys, that's what it is. The 12th house has dreams at night in it. So does your 9th, by the way, but so does your 12th. So excuse me for my eruption. I just hate when people make trolling comments. So Cancer, this is subtle. This is a new beginning about where you want to find passion and craft something in your life from the house of that subtle realm stuff. So certainly if you have any addictions and bad habits, and if you sabotage your life somehow, that's going to really help you refresh that screen and get over it already. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign, letting it go, releasing that old pattern. But you also can find, because Archangel Michael is here, worldly success and passion and crafting something. Sometimes your 12th house is your like PayPal and Stripe processors, your international payment processes allow you to make money and barter and trade from foreign lands. Okay, people always ask me why that's the case. Well, the traveling salesman house, for one, is the 3rd, and this is 3rd from the 10th. All right. You may be having the opportunity, because the foreign lands and travel is also the 12th house, to take a journey to a foreign land. You may not take the journey, of course, during the new moon. And don't forget, it fruits in December on the 8th of this year. But it could open up a gateway to plan a trip to a foreign land in the 2 weeks that follow or in the months that follow. And so just keep that in mind, because if you do with the stamp of the worldly success and that passion and the Eros, it could be an amazing journey that has huge implications for you beyond what you know at first. Now, Jupiter is supporting you from your 10th house of career with some Mars in tow there. The two of them are teamed up. This is Mars's dignity. Mars is helping you make decisions and take bold action steps, with magnanimous fairy godfather Jupiter supporting that as well. In your career, in your work, in your livelihood, in your reputation in the world, how you act in the visible part of the world where people see you. And it doesn't even matter if you work at home. I mean, like, yeah, like she's a massage therapist, she works in her home, but that's how people understand your reputation. Yeah. Okay. So this is a flowing, harmonious yay for Cancer rising, where you're going to be bumping up in the career zone. All right. And now don't forget, with that foreign lands energy in the 11th, your job may be by a foreign employer. But it could also mean something like backroom deals and negotiations will be ongoing in the couple of weeks that follow this new moon, because that's what happens. It's like the backroom deal making, 12th house hidden from the view, that you're working out, and then it can pop, you know, by mid-month into a new opportunity in your career. Certainly, if you're a Cancer rising, this is an amazing time to be seeking a new job, be looking for a promotion, be trying to escalate or elevate your career opportunities. Yeah, you. And because Mercury is the Lord as well, that sounds so archaic, like Game of Thrones, but he is the Lord of your 3rd house of trips and travel. You may have to take a journey for an interview for the job. You may have to, you know, get on a plane, train, or automobile to secure this job. 3rd house is also online stuff and learning online. So you may have an opportunity to learn this new job or something on the online world really kicks in around this opportunity. Now, you also have gnarly tension from Juno in the 9th house. Somebody in a spiritual authority position who is a friend, ally, or partner, or a foreign land partner, like your business has a foreign partner in it and you're working with that person, or something like that. It's tension. It's like an agreement that is gnarly, a desire to collaborate or agree or connect in a partnership energy with somebody. And that ninth house is turning out to be difficult, and you may need to break away from that. So pay attention around the days before, around the 2 or 3 days after the new moon, about where that tension may be resolvable, or if not, you're going to cut it out. Okay. Anything else I could say about that? Well, court cases and legal cases is the ninth. Maybe you're partnering with a lawyer on a legal issue, and now you realize it's just not going to work with that lawyer. And so you're going to cut out and let that lawyer go. It's also visas and things you need for travel and passports. And maybe there's some gnarly tension there, and you're going to have to get away from that person who's trying to help you with that situation, just making stuff up. Mercury is sitting in your 11th house during the moon, and this is a house of good spirit. And so that's a positive development in its own right, because even though he's not directly involved in the moon, he's sort of sitting in a place in the sky where you could have some superior luck regarding things that you're up to as a general principle, particularly when it is to do with larger social groups, organizations, and things that you belong to. You could get, like, for example, a new job opportunity coming to you because a friend gives you a favor and gets you into the interview or the audition or whatever else it is, or you hear about it through a social network and it looks and feels like a lucky break. Okay. Just those are great examples that I can come up with. You'll see how it works in your own life. And Cancer, I think I forgot Gemini to pitch them. Hey, check out my sky reader, Be Your Own Astrologer and Time Your Best Life 6-week immersion into your natal sky, and how to use some simple divine timing techniques with that knowledge that you can predict and help forecast some of your own choices in life, so you can definitely make better decisions. So it starts on May 29th. I'm only limiting it to 33 students. I think I'm at 11. I hope you'll join us, and I would love to have you in there, and sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, because you'll get a 33% discount code off the course, knocking it down from $297 to basically $198. So what a different price point that is. And I think it is something that you guys might like to do. So come join me. All the information is in the description box below. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. So Leo folks, you're having this energy. I need to move. You're having this energy, speaking of which, there's a honking horn, in your 11th house. Yay. What a positive place to have a new beginning, with Archangel Michael and Eros and Hephaistos all landing the deal for you. If you need to have some luck in your life, luck is on the way. If you want to experience some kind of breakthrough regarding great financial gain from your career, or opportunities like rewards and awards and anything like perks from your career, this is where it's going to happen. These are like gains from your career are elevating in the 6 months that follow. Don't forget, this moon will come to fullness in December of 2022. So be patient with the process, but this is an auspicious new beginning. Now it can really widen your social groups and your networks. You may, if you're an influencer type or you do online stuff, can really broaden your exposure. If you want to, they'll belong to new groups, groups of belonging, like I'm a part of the Society of Astrologers or the Meditators of, Baltimore. Your groups are going to expand, or you're going to go into more expansive new groups and feel really good about that. And groups that can bring you some worldly success. Also, the energy of Mercury. Okay. And also, by the way, Leo, if you have your sun, moon, or rising anywhere between the degrees of, let's say for you, I'll say 5 to 14 degrees of the sign of Leo, more so do you get really good juice from this new beginning. Okay. Now, Mercury is in your 10th house of career. He's an aversion to this new moon. So he's not particularly participating, but he's sort of watching on the sidelines. And therefore, there's something, Mars is retrograding in your career house. And there's something about going back over old ground, or delayed news, or delayed process of progress in your career. But it's going to pop forward. Don't forget, June 3rd, when he stations to go direct. And he will station to go to direct at the end of Taurus, at the end of your career house at 26 degrees. And then by the time he gets to June 14th, he's back in your house of good spirit, your 11th house. So I'd say look for some real results from this moon, where you understand where you're going back over old ground in your career. I don't know if you're going back to an old job, or you're redoing something, negotiations or deals in your career, or new contracts. But that retrograde could also just mean a delay in some positive news from your career that you will feel and experience sometime around June the 14th onward, probably. you've got Jupiter in the house of God with Mars supporting this whole story. Now that's foreign lands and travel, and that's legal affairs and court cases and visas, and that's higher education, and that's spiritual attainment and churches and religions and stuff like that. A lot of interesting, and book publishing if that's your gig. So I don't know what to say exactly, but it's auspiciousness for sure. Legally, you will prevail in any legal matters because Jupiter was going to support that for you for most of this year. Visas, legal matters. You're primed, though, to succeed as well. If you want to travel with Mars up here in Jupiter, travel for you Leos right now to foreign lands and shores. It's very auspicious until the first week of July. There's a deeper meaning there. Jupiter is sort of saying, as he looks over at the house of his joy, I'm here to bring you expansive new communities, influence, and greater gains from your career. Make sure you Leos are aligned with what is true for you, because as a quality of the ninth house, it's about our dharma, to be on our true path. And Jupiter cares about the word truth. Okay. So keep that in mind. You know, there's an integration quality with alignment of purpose or true north that may be ongoing for you over the next 6 months from this new moon. You've got some gnarly tension with Juno in your 8th house. This could be money issues from with your partner or your love partner or business partner. This could be tension from some 8th house person, a psychologist. I mean, you know, Juno's usually collaborative and partnership energy, but maybe, you know, you think your psychologist is your partner and now they turn out to be a thorn in your side. Look for a relationship too from somebody who may be a bit of a gossip or talking about you behind your back to maybe break up, because sometimes secrets and gnarly stuff like that, whispering, toxic stuff can be 8th house. And whoever this energy is, I think you're going to have a moving away from that union, whether it's a love union or just a platonic collaboration or business union. That will serve you though, right? All right. So don't forget, Leo, sign up for my Sky Reader, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life course starting May 29th. You could get a 33% discount code by signing up for my Cosmic Moonshine letter. And then the course is only $198. Evergreen access, replays available, and community class learning, including a Facebook group and coaching calls on Wednesday nights. Love to have you. Check it out in the description box below. Moving forward, I had a terrible thought I wasn't recording, but I am. Virgo, sun, moon, rising sign. If you're a Virgo, this is going to be a very powerful career development. You know, a new moon with Aldebaran and Archangel Michael and Eros and Hephaistos at the top of your sky is a golden ticket to some elevation of job or purpose or career. And depends, you know, like if you're a Virgo, like my daughter's a student, this could be the ideal internship or day job around her student life. So look for this exciting new development. It is the house of the father in the way I use astrology. So also your father could be the opening up something for you and you beginning that will really feel exciting. And by December 8th, you'll know more about what this is this year, because it takes that long for this full new moon to become that full moon in Gemini later on in the year. And I also would say to you that this is a really good new beginning, a new start in the house of your reputation. So if your reputation has been sullied, no worries. It's all going to be much better coming into the next 6 months. You know, you've got Jupiter, like, you know, benefic, and Mars in your 8th house. Now, I have to say, this is a money story. This is money and career and money. I will tell you, though, that it is a house of inheritances, and Jupiter is in a bequeathment transit. Some of you Virgos may receive money through a passing of somebody over the 6 months that follow, and it will elevate your ability to be successful in your career. So I don't know why, maybe because now you have some money, you can get the job you really want. You don't have to slave away at something you hate or whatever, but it's really positive. And, you know, Mars is helping you take financial action right now in your 8th house, paring down, cutting away all the dead wood in your things that you do, right? Your investment strategies, your 401k, or whatever else you have going on. You may eliminate some assets, sell a house, sell a property, cut back. That's something that Mars can be doing for you over the next 5-6 weeks until first week of July. But it's just baking into this new moon some kind of momentum and expansion in your wealth, but also in your career. During the actual moon, you've got Mercury in your 9th house. And so he's watching from the sidelines, but not influencing the new moon. He could be saying, hey, Over here, we're going to go back over some old ground to do with legal affairs, court details, maybe visas, maybe travel, maybe a trip you want to take that you're going to have a chance to organize or go back and organize because you just dropped the ball on organizing a trip. If you're a student, like my daughter, who's a Virgo rising, Mercury going retrograde in your ninth house is asking you to go back over your, say, your student profile, your course selections, or things you're doing in your academia. Make sure you got all your ducks lined up. And if you're a writer, this is Mercury saying, let's find you an agent. But then later on, he's going to go forward and he will move back into Gemini around the 14th, right? So he does station direct around June 3rd. But when he's back in your 10th house, you're going to see something maybe around the 14th or a little bit later of this month. It has to do with a new opportunity, offer, or news to do with your career. So yeah, let's see what happens for you. You might hear about the ideal job or get an offer or hear some information, or you just like read about it on LinkedIn because Mercury is like news and information. And Mercury is the Lord of you guys. This is an important lunation. You're born as a Virgo rising with Mercury as the Lugna Lord, or the Lord of the chart, the helmsman, the steering, you got the steering wheel of your life. He's a very important planet for you. And when he's retrograde, pay attention to your synchronicities, okay? Like it's got juice for you right now. And because, you know, if you're like a Virgo with your rising sign between 5 and 14 degrees of Virgo, you definitely get a real intense hit around this new moon. Like this is a really hitting you strongly, but it'll hit all Virgos as well in a positive way, Having a Lord of your sky retrograding for you guys can be very enchanted, very supernatural, spiritual, and mystical beyond the ordinary. The ninth house can be dreams at night too. So certainly pay attention to those as well. And lastly, gnarly tension from your marriage partner, significant other, or business partner is in the works around the time of the new moon. It's up to you to decide what you're going to do with that. You know, it could be just time to tell that person to back off, or time to leave, or time to negotiate some new kind of way of interacting with each other. You know, the other thing is that your legal affairs and contracts come out of the 7th house, and Mercury is the Lord of that. And maybe you're going to have some kind of difficult discussion or difficult confrontation regarding some legalese with somebody around this new moon. Don't forget to sign up for my Sky Reader. Become your own astrologer, time your best life, Virgo. Come on, do it. Check it out in my description box below. Starts May the 29th, goes for 6 weeks. You get live access to me, coaching calls on Wednesdays, a private Facebook group, and a ton of support. 33 people only can take it because I want to keep it intimate enough to help you. And if you're interested in astrology, you want to learn your own astrology chart in depth and be able to do some basic and very accurate forecasting techniques, sign up for the course. But first, go to my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, because when you sign up for that, you are now going to be given an automatic 33% discount code on your tuition, making the cost of the class only $198. All right. I hate to see you sign up without that discount. So we're moving forward. All right, guys, I'm checking out that I'm still recording. Let's go into the Libra sun, moon, and rising sign story. So Libra folk, you're having this energy of a new beginning in your ninth house of God, basically, religion, spirituality, foreign travel, court cases, judges. I'm going to do the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp video. I can't wait. I've got so much back research on it. I'm just... God, can't wait to talk about that one. But anyway, court cases and foreign lands and foreign travel, the whole dealio. If you are a Libra rising who wants to write a book, because a lot of Libras do books, Libra library book, this could be some really good news about a new beginning regarding a book project or opportunity to find a publisher or something like that. There's a foreign land component here for sure. And, you know, with Mercury getting back into that ninth house around the 14th, it could be to do with visas. Okay. So keep that in mind, Libras. Maybe you're going to have to work out some kind of visas or legal leads around foreign lands and travel, or your status regarding living in a foreign land or working in a foreign land. Now, Aldebaran, you know, Archangel Michael, Eros for passion, Hephaistos, what do you want to craft in your higher education, academia, foreign lands and travel, book publishing life, or your spirituality. If you are into God or into a religious path, or even just spiritual, but not religious, this could really awaken another level of attainment. If you are a professor or teacher of others, guide or mentor, this is also that part of the sky where you're having a new, refreshing beginning. And it's got great worldly success attached to it. You are going to also experience that you've got support from Jupiter in the house of others. That's your 7th house. Certainly, it can mean incredibly good support from your business client, a business partner, or a marriage partner as you create something really exciting in that 9th house. You know, Mars is in your 7th house, so you could be really a lot of tension coming from the one you're with, maybe some argumentative qualities if you're with somebody. But on the other hand, Jupiter in your 7th house will bring you a partner if you want one. And this could be a partner from a foreign land. It's going to show up in your life, a love partner in the next while, and maybe not right away, maybe in the 2 weeks that follow the new moon, or fruiting in December, on December 8th at the end of the year, when the full moon takes cue from this new beginning here. With Jupiter in your 7th house, legal contracts and agreements are given a really good rubber stamp of approval, especially if you have to sign all those papers and negotiate things. And he is sextiling the house of court. So this is very good for any Libras dealing with legalese. And over the couple of weeks following the moon, especially when Mercury's out of shadow, around the 18th of June, things can really pop forward successfully for you. If you have an audience marketplace that you sell things to, or your products of your career are to go to, Jupiter's expanding that this year, all the way to the end of October. And maybe something about this new moon is about what you do, what you publish, what you write, what you teach, 9th house, that you can bring greater potency to in the audience marketplace area of your story. Mercury is the lord of your natal, of course, your 9th house, but also the Virgo zone of your sky. And your Virgo zone of your sky is your 12th house. And so perhaps this new beginning that he's in charge of can also help you really release some kind of self-undoing bad habits, ways you trip yourself up, the 12th house, as you are able to receive some blessings from this moon as well, to get rid of your addictions, for instance. You have some gnarly tension from Juno. Okay, well, first of all, Mercury, let me go back. Mercury on the lunation is watching from your 8th house of other people's money. This is bank loans and mortgages, and this is credit card debt and grants and loans and investments in the stock market. Now, Mercury's retrograding here, so some of your investments may be going back over old ground, like have back tread into low price zones with the recent stock market corrections. The stock market doesn't look too good until July, guys, and that's not even great. But I would say to you, you definitely can find yourself going over paperwork and trying to figure out some kind of your financial back stuff, and then find taxes and tax stuff. And then finally, around when he gets into his retrograde turnaround, when he's no longer in Taurus, and then he's going around the 14th of June back into Gemini, then you can see some real momentum from some of the backstepping you've been doing in the financial department. Okay, so if you need to go back over old financial ground, don't worry, it will lead to something good later on, especially 6 months from now. Sorry, the table's moving. I'm sure you can see that. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, Scorpio, this is a lunation in your 8th house of other people's money and resources and occult mysteries and magic. Secrets. There's a new beginning with an archangel here. Oh, I forgot to ask Libra to join my class. Oh, well. There's a new beginning with Archangel Michael in this part of your sky, Aldebaran, the royal star, Persian star. Something is happening here where you're going to have a new financial beginning. You may see the fruits of it fully by December 8th of 2022. It's also got Eros and passion and Hephaistos, crafting a new financial beginning. This is money you share with your spouse, your business partner. This is your loans and your debts and your taxes and your inheritances. So all of those kinds of monies are getting a reboot in a very powerful, very worldly successful way. You've got support from Jupiter right now as the lunation kicks in, in your sixth house of your livelihood and your work routines and habits, but also your karmic debt. Jupiter here helps you eliminate your karmic debt. And in a way, it kind of wipes the slate clean during his transit till October 28th in this part of your sky. With Mars supporting Jupiter here, you might get money coming to you that is owed to you that you didn't ever think you'd see again. And Mars will be like, oh my God, exhilarating action and excitement and and decisions and momentum around money that really does belong to you, or someone borrowed or you should have, and it just returns somehow. Tax money you paid too much for, even, because that's the eighth house is taxes. If you are wanting to go into deep occult mysteries and magic and learn about metaphysical stuff, this new moon will incite that for you. So you could definitely Jupiter in the sixth, a teacher. If you're a woo person like me, it could be like you're going to study with an occult master or teacher and go in a new work direction because of it. So come take my Sky Reader, be your own astrologer course. 33% discount code drops it to $198, 6 weeks live, weekly coaching calls on Wednesday nights, private Facebook group. If you want to get that discount code, sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, and everything is in the description box below. You'll get an autoresponder with your discount code for 30% off a reading with me. All of my 2022 all sign forecast videos, plus the discount for this class, which, you don't have to be there live. You can watch the replays. All righty, let's keep going. Oh no, I need to keep telling you about your sky. Sorry about pitching you so hard, Scorpio. You also have Mercury at the time of this lunation in your seventh house of marriage. Now, you may be going back over old ground with your marriage partner or a business partner, negotiating new terms of service, new agreements, new mediations. But if it's not that, this is also a legalese house, signing contracts and documents to agree to things. Mercury is the god of that kind of thing as well. So what paperwork has to be going, you have to go back over that can influence your finances and your work life in a positive way. And when Mercury goes direct on June 3rd, and then more so around the 14th, when he gets back to Gemini, you'll start to see some momentum around redoing paperwork or legal agreements or communications that have to go back in order to go forward with your business or your significant other. You've got some gnarly tension from Juno in your fifth house. Now, if Juno is the goddess of committed partnership, right? And the fifth house is your children and your lovers. Okay, so maybe you had agreements with your child and now it's no longer going to work and you have to boot them out of the house. Or maybe your lover or, romantic interest is going to oppose something in your financial life and you're going to have an argument after this moon. Watch out for that. And there's going to be coming to a do or die, make or break vibe with that person, with this energy being so tense. And if it's your child, well, we can't really divorce our children, but we can make a hard stand about something that maybe we don't no longer want to support in our child's life, or that we don't agree with, or that it's not serving us. So yay, that could happen for some of you parenting types. Okay. If you're a single Scorpio and you just start dating someone, this could be a secret revealed by the one you're dating that really disturbs you and you decide to get the hell out of Dodge. Okay. Just all kinds of weird ways that could work out. Or a betrayal even. All right, moving onward. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. The new beginning is in your marriage house. This is a new moon in the house of significant relationships that you commit to. Now, yeah, it can be a business partner too, or your audience, client, marketplace. But if you're a single Sag, this could open up a gateway to a powerful, lasting relationship, especially because Jupiter is in the house of romance for you for most of this year until October 28th. And this lunation fruits in December. So I would say that for single Sages, sun, moon, and rising, especially if your sun, moon, and rising is between 5 and 14 degrees, the universe is trying to deliver a very powerful new relationship to your doorstep. If you are somebody who's with somebody already, this is going to be fruiting into a new blossoming of how you connect to the one you're with, growing it into a better enjoyment, pleasure, fun, play, and maybe increasing the passion and sexuality in your relationship, because especially Mars is baking in the house of lovers, and he is the cosmic lover and passion god, with Jupiter expanding the passion. This can be a new beginning of a renewal of passion and sensuality and play and fun and excitement with the one you're with. If you're an artist though, Jupiter, creative artist, performer, any of those things, Jupiter's expanding that part of your sky this year, this lunation bakes in a lot of Mars momentum, especially till July 5th or so. And you may find yourself totally on fire with a new idea. And because it's in a flowing relationship to your 7th house, if you put this out into the real world marketplace, you're like, paintings may sell, your book may go like crazy. Like, there's like momentum in the marketplace for a Sag to share their thing with the world. The other thing I want to tell you is you do have your Mercury zone, where Mercury sits on the lunation, in your 6th house of health protocols and work routines. You may get some new information or study or learn something or go back over work routines and habits and daily habits and health habits that you need to address in order to have this full you vitality increased in your 5th house of joy and physical vitality sometimes as well. News coming from a coworker or a colleague or the employment space, Mercury retrograding, having you go back over old things in your agreements with your employer or your colleagues or coworkers, all possible around this lunation. Around the 14th and then later the 18th, Mars really clears forward back into your 7th house. This will be a time of momentum around agreements, legal agreements, conversations with your business partner and your marriage partner as well. Watch out for gnarly tension from Juno in the 4th house. So Juno is a partner in your house of homeland and real estate. Some of you guys may have some gnarly tension with somebody you're living with that you consider like a partner, and you may have to really negotiate a new term with them around something. Now, maybe it's a real estate agent and you're having a discussion with a real estate agent and you're having an argument, but it's really not, it's a square. And so you may break up with somebody you partnered with. Like, it could be anything, guys. You partnered to buy a real estate with someone, and now it's time to end that partnership. Okay. So don't forget, if you want to take my course, it's called Sky Reader, and the taglines be your own astrologer, time your best life. It starts on the 29th of May. It goes for 6 weeks on Sundays live, weekly coaching calls, and on Wednesday nights, a private Facebook group, evergreen access to the course at my Padaya teaching site. And I'd love to have you. I'm having only 33 people in it, so I can really pay attention to this course. It's a beta, and get everyone to succeed in reading their own chart and then also timing their best life. You can be a beginner or an early intermediate to take this class. And if you want to do that for 33% off, sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. And when you do, you get a discount code right away in your inbox. Boom, it's right there. And you can then sign up for only $198. And if you haven't signed up for a newsletter anyway, do so. You get a 30% discount code off with the reading with me and my all signs videos for 2022. 12 60-minute videos that are normally for sale for $47. Woo! Okay, I'm going to take a drink and continue on. I'm going to pause my recording for a little tidbit here. Okay, we're continuing on this journey of this new moon sky for each sign. And we just finished with Sag, and I'm moving to Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. All right, Capricorn, this is a new moon in your 6th house of health. Really, it's a house of sickness, but often it turns out to be the ways we can improve our health. So definitely for a lot of Capricorns, you're looking at a new beginning, and you'll see the full fruit of this in December of this year around improving your health. Now, with Archangel Michael there, biggest royal star, world of success, with the energy of Aldebaran then, and Eros passion and Hephaistos crafting something new. This is about crafting some new health protocols and health directions that you really are excited about. But it's also relates to your coworker space and your office space and your daily habits and work routines. Like, I use a Zoom thing and I have a mic, and I record in my apartment. So you may have some new beginnings on how you do your work, and ways that you do your work can change, but it'll bring you more worldly success because of it. And Mercury, as the Lord of the Lunation, sits in your 5th house during this actual new moon. And he's like watching from the sidelines. He's not really involved, but he's watching from the house of your joy and play and pleasure, and your house of your romantic partners and stuff and inspiration. So I have a feeling you could find that, you're retrograding here. You're going back. Old lovers have come out of the woodwork. Are you having coffee, tea, and lunch with your old marriage partners, romance partners? Do you need to go back over some old ground in your own life about what you love, what brings you joy, what brings you enthusiasm, what makes your zest for life come alive? Because if you do, when Mars goes back into your 5th house, you're going to really be able to apply those learnings, 6th house, to your auspicious career new beginnings, or work routines and health new beginnings. So you're going to find then that the real momentum is the June 14th and then later 18th, as everything begins to take off and Mercury is past his shadow, moving direct in your 6th house. Certainly, I'd say much of the 2 or 3 weeks that follow this, Mercury morning star moving through your 6th house is a huge flurry of exciting communications, negotiations, and activity, Capricorn, in the work zone and the health zone of your sky. Also, you have the energy of Jupiter in your 4th house with Mars in his dignity here, supporting you during this lunation and kicking off something to do with your home life. Now, Mars and Aries in your 4th house, which will be till July 5th, can mean you're arguing with people that you live with, okay? Can be gnarly tension in the home. However, Jupiter's trying to smooth it all out, bonify it, but he can also expand the arguments, and you might have a bit of make or break going on here, all right, with somebody you're living with, as the tensions can heat up. But nonetheless, Jupiter as a benefic, and he might be saying it's time to move to a new home. Mars is moving. Jupiter is good stuff. Opportunity to expand your home, construct something different at home, build an outhouse on your home, renovate your home. These are all very Mars in the 4th house, and Jupiter expanding an opportunity in those areas. But Jupiter in your 4th house all the way through to October 28th, you are expanding in and from your home. You may be buying or selling real estate, or upgrading your apartment or something like that, or your lease, a better place to live. You also have, Mercury as the ruler of, or lord of, your 9th house, foreign lands and travel. And some of you may find that some of this lunation opens up foreign travel opportunities for you as a Capricorn rising, sun or moon, that are also going to be very auspicious in the 6 months ahead. Maybe some of you will look at visas and legalese around moving, or moving to another country. Juno, the goddess of marriage, is really giving you a hard time, Cap. I'm so sorry to tell you this. She is in your 3rd house, and she is gnarly squaring that new lunation in your 6th. Now, the 3rd house is your local environment, and it's also your online world, and it's also your neighborhood, and it's also your siblings. But they're not usually your partners, business partners, but there's some kind of gritty tension coming from the 3rd house. Like an example could be your marriage partner or your significant other is on a trip, and then you have terrible communications and tension around this lunation from the traveling they're doing and the hard work you're doing at home, or in your home, or from your home. This tension can be, because it's a new beginning, a beginning of a bit of a make or break in some existing partnerships in your life. And you'll see the full fruiting of that by the December timeframe, whether this relationship will make the cut or not. Friendship, relationship, but really committed ones, right? Ones you think you're supposed to last, but they may not. Anything else I want to say? No. We're moving on to me, the Aquarius is, oh yes, Capricorn, check out my Sky Reader, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life course, 6 weeks, live classes on Sundays, starts on the 29th of May, 33 students max. I'm already at 11. You will probably love it. I will hold you by the hand, make sure those coaching calls get you across the finish line to know how to do your own astrology chart, how to read it really, really well, how to understand how to do some timing techniques that are very simple. If you want to join, get the 33% discount code. It's only $198. Just sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, and when you do, guess what? You get the reduction to $198. So come on, jump aboard and see if you enjoy learning a little astrology for yourself. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. I need to go for a walk, guys. I need my exercise. It's turned out to be sunny, and I am anxious to get my body moving. Aquarius, we are experiencing the lunation in our 5th house of romantic love and the house of our children. So if you're like me and you have kids, you're definitely not going to find this to be negative. This is an expansion of your relationship with children, or something positive, blooming with Archangel Michael, success, worldly success, Aldebaran, and Eros, and passion and fun and play, and Hephaistos, crafting some new relationship with one of your children. And it can also open up the window for having children if you are somebody looking to get yourself pregnant, or your partner. And you can also find that this is going to open up a romance door for you. If you're a single Aquarius like me, a new romance can blossom here. It's right on the root of my chart in my 5th house. So it's also for me a new move, but it can be really exciting for a really big love story. I mean, Archangel Michael Aldebaran blessing a love story beginning is going to be auspicious. Worldly success through a love story, we'll see. But it's also the house of the muse. So if you need to be inspired and you want to get your inspiration going, to create something, yay you. It is the house of independent business enterprise. If you're an entrepreneur like me, there's nothing better than a new moon in your fifth house with this kind of magnitude of power. So I'm like honestly tickled pink for us Aquarians. You can't go wrong because the fifth house is a house of good things. It's a house of good fortune. And it's got so much stellar sky stuff going on that no matter which way, we're going to have some good fortune. Now it's money luck. It's a lottery play, horse races, lottery, casinos, speculation and gambling. Just for you guys, this is not a bad time around that new moon to buy a lottery ticket for fun. Don't break the bank. Don't take financial advice from an astrologer. But just know that you could have some really big wins financially, and some of it could just be from speculation. Also, you do have Mercury in your fourth house during the actual lunation, and that's the house of home and real estate and where you live in your private life. So you definitely could be finding a busting out and a shift around home. But because Mercury's retrograding, it's really going back over old ground. You might go back and look at a house or a property you wanted to buy or rent before. It might come back to you from the past because you thought you were going to take it and you didn't get it, but now someone's left and it's open to you. Some retrograding news around homeland and real estate is showing up for you around where you want to live. You can also find out, though, when Mercury joins the fray back in Gemini, that things that you're doing in your home, like research or study or ideas you're generating in your home, you're going to have a lot of momentum around your business success or your prosperity or your luck and joy when he goes into your into direct motion and then into your third house, your fifth house. So the best time then is after the 14th of June, and then the 18th when he's at a shadow, where big momentum is yours to declare in the fifth house storylines. The other thing I'd say is, Mercury is in your natal sky, right? The very capable and very powerful lord of your finances in the eighth house, taxes, inheritances, money that you're investing in the markets, credit card debts and stuff. And so Mercury in this lunation could really pop your prosperity and money luck so that you can clear up things to do with those eighth house monies. Jupiter is sending a lot of love with Mars from your third house of the online world, instruction, learning, trips and travel. And when I say learning, it's like learning how to do something, right? Something functional, skills-based. You may be teaching it or you may be learning it. For me, it's both. I'm in a very intense coaching course right now where I'm learning a new skill, but I'm also going to be launching 2 courses, Sky Reader, check it out. Time your best life, be your own astrologer, Aquarius. You can get it for only $198. It starts May the 29th. Check it out. Link below. Sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, get 33% off. And then the course is a mere $198. It's high touch, only 33 students allowed in the class. It is going to be me seeing how I can make astrology fun and easy for you to learn. All right. It's good for beginners or very light intermediate people. So this is good for us Aquarius, is to have this Jupiter, Mars push and expansion from that third house. If you love to travel and you've been stuck like I have with the vaccine passport problems and stuff, and you want to get back on the traveling again, this is going to begin to open that up. Certainly a new moon in the house of joy connected to Jupiter and Mars in the house of trips and travel is an auspicious story of the next 6 months. A lot of trips and travel are possible. The lunation blossoms on December 8th, 2022. It could even mean that that's when really there's some major travel coming up for you guys. And it's going to be a really powerful window of new openings around travel, etc. If you are somebody who has siblings like I do, this is auspicious for siblings. Jupiter in the house of siblings benefits your siblings, but it also benefits your relationship to them. And Mars could say it's time to travel to see a sibling in the months that follow or the weeks that follow this lunation, or good news coming from a sibling that brings you great joy. Aunts, uncles, and cousins as well. If you're a writer, which I am, and Jupiter's here, it's a great year for writing until the 28th of the year, this year, and then back again, mostly the first 5 months of 23. Writing is auspicious for us Aquarians. You might get a new inspired, muse-driven idea for a writing project, because new moons in the fifth house can be like downloads from the divine on your creative energies, and Jupiter is in the writing house, so some new great inspired writing projects next. Mercury, anything else I want to say? Oh, Juno in your second house is gnarly energy. What money agreements or money partnerships have you had in place that may bust out and break away in and around this new moon? Okay. Who did you partner with financially or in your professional life in terms of earnings and cash flow or possessions? And you're going to see tension arise from that situation and maybe an end to that collaboration or partnership. That's not a big deal really, because it's a transient sky story, but it's worth noting. Anything else I want to tell you guys? I feel like I'm forgetting something. If you want to learn anything, Aquarius, it's brand new. I really have to say, with Jupiter in your third house, you're going to knock it out of the park. So you've always wanted to learn how to blank. Aquarius, go for it. I mean, Jupiter here says you will get the best teachers. You will be successful. What you learn will be something you can apply and use in your success story of your life. So don't hesitate, because when Jupiter rules your earnings house, so what you learn in your third house, you can apply to cash flow and earnings increases in your life. Okay. All right. We're going to move forward to last but not least. It's Pisces time. Pisces, the fish. I know someone complained that I don't give you guys enough time. I think I try to be equal for everyone, but let's try to make sure I don't go too quickly through the Pisces story. So you guys are experiencing this new Gemini beginning on Archangel Michael and Eros and Hephaistos for crafting something new in your fourth house of home. Guys, it's a real estate story, right? It's about where you live. It's your condo, your apartment, your house, the land you're sitting on, or the homeland that you're in. Because sometimes the fourth house is like to change one's homeland, like another country. And, there's a new beginning here, Pisces. There's no doubt about it. This is a new seed being planted with worldly success, and Archangel Michael energetically saying in the next 6 months, there's a good chance that you're going to find something like a new home, or something new and powerful and successful is happening in your home or from your home. All which ways you spin it, it's angular, and it can really influence your career, your sense of identity, and even your marriage. So it's a very powerful new beginning that spins out energy in all directions. When it happens on the day of the moon on May 30th, I mean, Mercury is sitting in the sign of Taurus. This is your third house of your neighborhood, your siblings, trips, and travel. Consider you might go back over old ground to have discussions with a sibling that you've had before, or you may go back to travel to a place you've been before, or a sibling may be traveling to try to see you. These are all options, right? Or you may go back and learn something that you were trying to learn before, skills-based learning. But whatever those things are, travel, trips, siblings, skills-based learning, going back over old ground, when it pops forward, or renovating your website, because that's the third house, when it pops forward and Mercury is in your fourth house again, it's going to help you prosper from home. And that will be where you'll see the evidence of that June 14th or the June 18th timeframe, as he gets out of shadow and he's back in Gemini. Also, you've got great Jupiter support for increasing your prosperity. Period. Jupiter in your second house will be in that place till October 28th and back again December 20th to mid-May next year. This is all about expanding your possessions, bigger car, better house, your resources, your earnings. Okay, so this is really growing for you, Pisces. This is a really good time for your money. And this particular lunation that we're talking about is a part of that. Look for December 8th to see the fruits fully blossom from what this new thing in your home, from your home, and your prosperity are trying to put together for you. And again, for some of you, it could also definitely be a change of home, especially if your IC, the root of your chart, is in your fourth house, because in whole sign houses, it floats. Now, I would say that you may have some kind of, and finally, Mercury is the Lord of your marriage house. Okay. And this is an interesting one for you. Mercury rules your marriage. New beginnings in your home could be like a new beginning in your home with a marriage partner or significant other. But also, Juno, the goddess of marriage, is squaring this lunation from the house of you. And this can look like a desire to break away from, you're making the decision, an existing love partnership or business partnership relationship, and to cut the ties. And I don't know whether you'll do it during the lunation or there'll be a tension with your beloved, business partner in the days around that new moon, but you can definitely feel that there's tension here, and it's up to you to figure out what you're going to do with it. But the best part of the sky for me, for you guys, is the prosperity is tied to something to do with home or homeland, something you're doing in the home, from the home, all of that. You might sell a home and get a lot of money. You may buy a home and it's a great investment. You may downsize and get a really great lease, but it's these kinds of things that really begin to amplify your prosperity in some really lovely way. So live long and prosper if you are a Pisces rising sun or moon. And if your rising sun and moon is between 5 and 14 degrees as well, you're really getting more potency from this event, this new moon lunation. Look for things that pop forward June 14th and 18th when Gemini, Mercury gets back into his Gemini zone. And you've got a lot of negotiations, maybe contracts around real estate and things like that during like the rest of June. Anything else I need to tell you? I think that's it. Don't forget, I have a course called Sky Reader. Be your own astrologer, time your best life. 33 spots available, 11 are gone. I'm starting on the 29th of the month. It's only $198 if you get the discount code. When you get that code, you get it because you sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine Weekly Forecast newsletter. And then you could sign up for a really deep discount. And I would love to have you. Check it out. It's lots of coaching calls, live classes, replays, worksheets, and attention from me to make sure you learn how to read your own sky and begin to use some timing tools for your own life. So you don't always have to listen to these vague YouTube channels or even always go see your astrologer. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. So appreciate you. I'm getting close to 5,000 subscribers. Yay. I'm really excited by that. I really appreciate all of you guys who comment and listen to my channel. Big hugs to everyone.